You guys ready? My friend. You'll need everything today.
Holy fuck, what is on I'm throwing like this today.
Hell no.
I mentioned I'll learn it in like 10 minutes.
Books, calculators. We're floating around out here. Was one on top. I guess somebody grabbed it. Couple back there. Grab one of those bins. You got one reference sheet. You got a reference sheet. Book. I saw yours. There should be Stevie.
Question. This one.
I work on
I saw that one.
But all, you're like,
No, no. No, wait, this one.
All right, so that is your bell work. I'm recording this class already. It will be recorded, posted. Hopefully during, if I remember to stop it at the right time, it'll be posted during my planning. If not, it takes a little while to get through that.
Yeah, I just had to put them together. Yes.
I was thinking it might be one of your math ones, but. Oh, did you guys want to finish this?
Yeah, I did, but I did, like that's what I did. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have my notebook.
Oh, I think that they were class.
Yeah. Oh, she didn't put me, no.
I thought it was already going back.
No. Police put that in my notebook, and when I went to go in my notebook, I wrote it down. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't care.
Nah.
I thought you two were.
Police did it.
I don't know. I'll give you another, like 2 minutes. Gotta get through. Phone should be up, earbuds out, headphones up.
I think that's nice. I have a problem like that's gonna be on the test, but I don't know what the other problem that you said.
It's the same thing. One just is pretty much all numbers. You gotta figure out what the missing number is. And then one has like 3x plus 2. It's the same concept, just one has more variables. I got it figured out. I got
I know, so I can't tell them either.
See, yeah, then you just have to know, same setup, just different.
Today, if we come later, I can't do that.
Lunch or after school. Absolutely. So so Zero noise. Zero noise. Because I'm about to talk about the grades, and these are all your grades right there. Oh, yeah, got quiet meetings. So I have it printed out, what you got on that quiz. So don't walk in here, and I have already emailed the tutoring people, that, hey, anybody come in for tutoring? I only had 2 names. So you still have lunch today if you're gonna do it after school, but as of right now, there's 2 people that tutor. So now if you missed it, which a lot of people missed it, so you better come in and do it. You're gonna kill you. Actually, I don't see anybody that missed it in this class. So you would just, but there are some people that did not pass it, which means you owe me tutoring. So you can't come in at lunch if you haven't. Well, then again, you gotta prepare. Don't change. I already changed it for the first one and that didn't work out. Kids came in and didn't know what they were doing. I'm not just giving, like, you have, if you didn't know how to do it the first time, how do you expect to do it the second time? I don't even get that. You can just show up and think, oh, I'll retake it. And I'll do better without having done anything, and I haven't even seen it now in 3 weeks. I just don't get it. So anyway, yeah, so there's a few people that did not pass it, not tons, but a few. If you can't stay after, I mean, if you think you can go tutor real quick, get here, I don't even know how to do that. So. I'll get started in like 30 seconds. I don't have any up here. It should be, I'll look for you, Floyd. Oh, here's one. Yeah, that's good. Line segment edition was just 2 questions. One's super easy one. Like just, it was just 2 questions, like 2 line segments. One just had numbers in it. Pretty much. And then you take that one already? Oh, then yeah. Yeah, if you got 100, you don't. Really? Everyone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's not failing.
Well, it's like a low burger.
Well, again, I mean, you don't have to take it. That's the important part. That if you want to take it over, you can just study at home. Like passing is important for that reason. Now you don't have to worry about trying to get into tutor and tutor and then come a different time to take it.
I see that problem.
Yeah, if you got a 40 or below, that's when you have to tutor. If you got a 60 or above, you can just study on your own and come in and read. That's the advantage of at least doing okay on the first. All right, so we're gonna go through this relatively quickly because we try to cover more information in this class. Then you can go back and if you really need to, slow it down and watch the video. I need 0 noise. This is the lesson part. 0 noise. So I know you guys are working on math, but I need to do, we're gonna do this together. So if that's what you're working on, we're gonna do it. And then we have 2 new objects or figures, 3-dimensional figures to add in, which we got to get to today. And that still won't even cover all of them that's on the quiz. All right, so what was the process, first of all? What's the first thing I said to do when we did up at the groups? Write the formulas. You have to be able to identify the shape. You need to know what a cone is and what a prism is and a cylinder is the same formulas, but you need to be able to say, oh yeah, that's a cylinder. So you can find that on the reference sheet. Let's see, we'll do a triangular prism. It's still a prism, we said. So, you know, the key for a prism, it's got 2 sides that are opposite each other. Parallel is what you'll see the technical word, but they're on the opposite. They don't touch, basically. And they are the exact same shape. That triangle is the exact same shape as that triangle. That makes it a prism. That's why a cylinder is the same formula. Because it, even though it's curved, it has 2 sides that are opposite sides that are the exact same shape. So they use the same formulas, even though this is curved. And then you have to know something that's why we're going over this right here. I can say, oh, you'll see this word on the district stuff. So really quickly, I'm supposed to do a lot of vocabulary, but don't even have time. Polyhedron. So you'll see that word, polyhedron. Super weird word, not that big a deal as far as the concept goes. It just means you have a 3D object, so it's got to be 3D, that's the first thing. And it's got all flat sides. So that is the polyhedron. Every side is flat. plain, flat, whatever you're gonna call it. And it's 3D. That kind of same shape. That's polyhedron, everything's flat. That, not. Got a curved outside shell, surface, whatever you call it. That, not a polyhedron. Got a curved outside shell. So that's the only thing about it. Flat, just remember that is flat. Flat, 3D object, sides. If they're not flat, then it's not a polyhedron. I don't know why that's a big, some of the definitions that they make, like you said, not gonna come up in your like, what a polyhedron. Understanding how to maybe do something with them does, or could. So with that in mind, we write the formula that we are using for this. So it could be a prism, it could be a cylinder, because that's the formula for both. We said we're going to have to solve out for that B and that P. That's our first step. We wrote B equals P equals capital P, capital B. What does capital B stand for, Tyler? Specifically, what about the base? Not the shape of it, the area of the base. This is on your reference sheet. Like it tells you what all the letters stand for. You don't have to memorize it. Sort of. Because if you look at capital P, what's it say for P on here? It only says perimeter. And yesterday I had a lot of people trying to find the perimeter of the entire object when they were trying to solve for P. It's only the perimeter of the base, just like it's only the area of the base for capital B. So don't try to add up all the heights together and these sides on top. You just add up the sides of the base. So if it's a rectangle, you add 4 sides. If it's a triangle, you add 3 sides. What if it's a circle? So now we're moving into number 2. What if it's a circle and we want to find the perimeter? What do we say we have to use? Geometry. Yeah. There again, you're up this. You had to. Not with it. They got it. Now you just drew attention to the fact that you got that in, so you're doing all kind of stuff. All right, so say it again. If it is a circle, there's no formula for the perimeter of a circle. So what do we use? We use the circumference. If you didn't write that in your notes somewhere, if you see capital P, but the base is a circle, there's no formula for that. You have to understand, there are formulas for circles. You have a section for circles. You don't have to memorize those, but you have to understand for capital P of a circle, that circumference, the capital C is what you would use. Now for area of the base, if it's a circle, we do have that formula. So we just use the area of a circle formula. Again, you have that. Yes, like the third box down where it says circle. So you have those formulas. You don't have to memorize those, but you have to understand you won't see a formula for capital P. You have to know to use the circumference, the capital C. So the ones you have to memorize, I'm just going to tell them because we always forget them. Area of a rectangle. The formula, you do not get that. That is not on your sheet. Length times width. You have to memorize that. Area of a triangle. 1/2 little b times little h. I want you to also, so write that triangle one down, even if you knew it. We're going to add something in. Because we have this capital B, and then we have this little b. And it gets confusing, especially when we have a shape that has triangles as the base. The little b and the h are, and this is not 100% true all the time, but my quiz and hopefully the district stuff, will keep it pretty simple. They are going to be the perpendicular sides of the triangle. And you'll see that in a second, but for now, just write it. I'm going to write it and you can see in a second. They are definitely, the base is a side of the triangle for sure. Sometimes the height won't be, but we're going to, in my stuff, it will be. So it's those two things will be two of the sides, and it's the two perpendicular sides of the triangle. Again, I'll show that to you after we do a cylinder. But go ahead and write it since we're doing formulas. So when you're done, just kind of put your pencil down so I'm not moving forward. Oh, if you haven't noticed, football game tonight at home, LakewoodGoFans.com starts at 7:30. TV starts at 7. I'll start earlier. The most people I think are wrapping it up, so I'm gonna so here's what I want you to do. So we can let the other people wrap up. Who was not here yesterday? So we did like the majority of this lesson yesterday. You're gonna need to watch that video. I'm gonna go through it faster today, and we're doing different shapes today. We did not, let's cheat this one. So we did not do the exit ticket in first period, so I'm not doing the exit ticket today. I think actually what I'm gonna do, I changed my mind. I told them I would do it Monday. I'm just gonna put it on the quiz. So you'll have an exit ticket question that's that cube, like a rectangular prism. That'll be graded separate from the rest of the quiz. Or maybe I'll even grade it as part of the quiz. Just help you out a little bit on the quiz grade. But either way, it'll be on your quiz instead of me trying to like read it in the. Well, we did all and the day before, we did it as well. So that group stuff we did, for those of you that were here, you need to practice that still, because you'll see it on the quiz. We're just gonna not try to cram it in since we have the district module thing and all that. Were you not here yesterday? I gotta hang on. Those are for people that were absent. So you can, again, you're just copying one thing down. When you go to practice, I'll give you.
I mean, yesterday.
You weren't? Well, I just said who wasn't here. So look at number 1. What shape is that? Where's the formula for cylinder? On your reference sheet.
With prism.
It's right, the same formula, right? So we are using the same, those of you that are here, we are using, and we actually did it the day before, so some of you that weren't here yesterday should have been here for that. We're using those same formulas. But again, the trick comes in is that we now have a different base. That's why this was your bell work, because the base is a circle. So now we need to do that same process. I want you to write the formula down, just like we did yesterday. SA equals, V equals, then write capital B equals, and then just leave it blank. Then write capital P equals and leave it blank. And we're gonna do the same exact thing we did yesterday, only we're gonna have to switch it around a little bit because it's a circle with the base. No, I don't have, I have some, but I only print enough for everybody that's, in my classes. So if people are absent, I have to keep it. I'm good. You can copy that. It's not a whole lot of writing. Now, when we go to practice, you may have to look on with somebody else or something. We only do one practice probably. But you do need to get I can make more copies. So if you're missing it and you need to take one home to practice, I'll make more copies, but I don't want to give these out in case there are people that are absent that didn't get it like some of the people today. So to draw, if you don't have it, to draw. Yeah, sometimes people leave it. You may want to look around you. There might be some. So to draw a cylinder, this is the way I draw it. Make an oval, kind of a flattened out circle. Draw 2 lines straight down if you need to draw it. I mean, you don't all need to draw it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I didn't hit it. I didn't even hit the other side, but that's fine. You just need some kind of a picture. I'm gonna I thought I had pasted this in, but I guess I didn't. And then there's a right angle down at the bottom. In this case, the right angle doesn't really come into play, but what do we need to think when we see a right angle? 2 lines and a right angle. Well, that's just the definition, but what next step could we maybe have to say? Hold on. What next step could we take? And I think there might be somebody waiting. If I have 2 lines and a right angle, what could be the next step? Even if there's not something there. Say it again. I could be needing to do something with a right triangle. Sometimes you have to create the right triangle. Remember that. A right angle, even if it's not a triangle yet, can lead to a squared plus b squared is c squared. And this is a lesson where that happens. it's also a lesson where you already have the triangle and it's a right triangle, so you still need to know you need to do a squared, b squared, c squared. That'll be the last thing we do today. All right, with that in mind, formula SA equal, I'm just gonna write it. Hopefully you know where to find it. Equals that. Volume equals that. And then we write capital B, capital P. That's what your sheet should look like, your paper. I mean, if you're working and you've already moved past that, that's fine. That is your first step for every problem. The only thing is the formulas will change if the shape has a different formula, like a pyramid or a cone. What else? Pyramid. Oh, a sphere. We don't need to get to sphere. It's in your lesson, but we don't get to it. Hopefully, if you've done enough of the other stuff, you can just plug it. All right. So now we just did this for bell work. Who am I going to call on? Pressure is going to be on somebody. Really want to call on Sheila. Bella. Call on Bella. Bella's the one representing the class. What did we say? B stands for, just what's it stand for first? So write on your reference sheet. So it stands for the area of the base. What shape is the base? So what formula am I going to use to find close? It's in the circle, but if it's area, which one do we use? Look at where your circle is. You're in the right spot, I think. Yeah, the one that says A. If it's the area, you use the one that says A. It's the perimeter that you have to use circumference. But if it's got an A there, that's the formula for area. So we use that. So everybody look at your sheet. There's two formulas for circle that they give you. You're going to use one of those two formulas. If you're trying to find the area of the base, then you just use the one that says A. A for area. If you're trying to find the perimeter, that's when you use that other formula, the circumference, the C. So if you didn't write it in your notes, I said to write it yesterday. When you're, and we just said it, I think, for the bell work, if we didn't, the perimeter, write it in words first, perimeter of a circle, and I'm not going to write the word out, but it's circumference. It is the circumference. Do your best to spell it. Doesn't matter as long as you know what that word is. The perimeter of a circle is the circumference, which you get that formula. Either 2 pi r or d pi. Diameter is the same thing as 2 times r. So now I want you to try to find those two values using the circle formula.
Wait, are you in the paper?
You're doing number one, yeah, number one. Oh, I was gonna draw in the numbers. What's the number? This is 13 down here, I remember. 20? A lot of time, maybe even most of the time, the 20 will actually be out here. So it could be the height straight up through the middle of it. It could be the height on the edge, on the outside of it. I'm kind of surprised they put the 20 in the middle. That's not normally how they do it. But they did it on every problem in this. Every cylinder they did it. So I'm not really sure why they're doing that in this. Typically, like I said, I've seen it. Oh, you guys have got it. Where's your backpack? Where's your backpack? Then you can bring it in. And you have worksheet that you need, that's why. If when you go to practice, I will give you a sheet. I mean, that's the problem right there.
I mean,
20 is the height, 13 is, whoa, what is 13? What part of the circle is that? No, not diameter, radius. So you have to know the difference between radius and diameter. So what's the diameter then? Yeah, if this is the radius and it's 13, the diameter is twice that. Did you do it? Did you do this? And nobody goes to the bathroom if you haven't done a problem yet. If I give you a problem, you need to show me that you've at least been able to start it. So, but you've been sitting there doing nothing, don't have to go to the bathroom. You at least need to have for sure, whatever I've done up there, you need to have down. And then you really should make an attempt to do the next one. Okay. I'll give you a minute or two to try on your own, and we'll start working on it. Didn't even copy that down. Well, you need to make some progress on that before you leave the class. You gotta know I think I looked at the quiz already. There's one I might take off. It's really difficult. But you have cylinders, cones. I believe you have a triangular prism and then a normal like rectangular prism, which I was just talking about will be the exit ticket. As well as I'll probably still count on the quiz too to help. So those four shapes. I mean, like I said, there's a pyramid on there also, but I might just take that off. We're not gonna get the pyramid. I don't know why. I don't understand why this is taking longer this year. I'm pretty sure I did it only 2 weeks last year. Maybe not. Maybe I took it long. It's for a circle. Like if it's a circle, then the P is the perimeter of the circle is the C point. Circle.
I feel like most of the practices.
Well, yeah, no, Miss Louie mentioned your name. So you were one of the 2 people, and the other person isn't in this class either. That was all she mentioned. Now, there were other people in there, so maybe other people weren't from the else. She mentioned you. All right, so I'm gonna kind of get it started, so keep working if you're working. Again, for base, it's the area of the base. So if the base is a circle, I look at my circle formulas and I use the area formula. So you should have used that formula right there. I'm just going to solve it. I'm just going to walk with this. Yeah, I'm going to start, but again, you need to be making fun.
Diane.
At least you tried. That's all I had. So again, oh, is it so you're solving?
Yeah.
Well, I want you to give me the B and the start with Davis, so try to go straight to the play. Tell me what you think that is. What that is. I have numbers, I don't know. One's this is all there. I'm putting it up on the board so you can check your answer for B and P in a second, as soon as I get them done.
Look.
All right, so that was the next step, plugging the numbers into the formulas and picking the formula. I wrote the formula so you know if you had the right formula. So you should have used, you should have used for the base, the formula was pi r squared. That's the area of a circle. For the perimeter, you should have used the circumference formula, which I use 2 pi r. There's also one that says d times. If you did some stuff that I'll let you go. I'm not gonna. Did you get that at least? Is that the numbers you had?
Yeah.
All right, if you have that, you can go. I'll walk back there and check it after well, I didn't have a calculator, so you guys tell me what is 13 squared times pi? What is it? Is that what everybody got? 520? I'm not doing it. I don't have a calculator, so if you didn't get that, let us know. Well, that's 13 squared, but then you gotta multiply times pi. So you got half of it. Don't forget, do the whole formula.
Yeah, we got 5.
I got
By 530 then. I remember that from last class. Yeah, it's 530.
I got 530.6.
I remember that from last class.
530.
Now, you could get a little bit of a different number if you round. So if you use 3.14 as pi, that's going to give you a different answer than if you hit the pi button. Remember, rounding something off during the process will give you a different answer than maybe somebody else that didn't round off. Yeah, it depends on how the problem wants you to answer. Sometimes they'll say leave pi in your answer. Sometimes they'll tell you to multiply it out.
Wait, so.
Oh, dude.
Wait, looks 13.
No. You can use the pi button. Actually, you're supposed to use the pi button. So you could just, if you just hit the pi button and then you say times 13 and then hit x squared, I think it does it all for you at once in these calculators. That doesn't work in every calculator, but You could just say 531. If you wanted to, like, if you got 0.6 or 0.9 or whatever, you could say 531. Again, you need to show this. This is what I grade. You need to write down, that's how you got that number. I don't know. They'll tell you how to round. You definitely use the pi button for that, but that I'm almost positive. You don't want to put 3.14 for that. What'd you get for, let me get the answer for this. Everybody can check. What's 2 times pi times 13? 37? Is that what I remember?
You got 2 times 5.
Like this, well, we're doing the perimeter, right? And that was the formula. And all we had to plug in was the radius, which was 15.
Yeah.
What did we get for that?
81.
81.7. So yeah, 81.6, 0.7, whatever you get. So that's the capital P. So you now have capital P, capital B. Now go ahead and try to solve for the surface area of the volume. Got an answer? If you've already done it, I'll come around and look. I think I remember. Oh, you already did the yesterday? Well, I wish you would try again all into all.
Let's try to be the 81 point. That right
Oh, so 13 squared. 13 squared. 20. Assuming you plugged it in correctly, that should be right. We'll find out in a second. I want you to find surface area for all of these too, when you go to like start your practice. Like it just says volume, but use these. Volume's the easier one. So you need to know how to do surface area. That's the tough one. Yeah, I don't remember.
I think he must have right.
Wait, what are we finding?
Whole surface, supposed to be doing surface area. Surface area and volume, so we can compare answers. But I don't remember the correct name.
5.8.
I'm not putting nothing.
That was so.
You said 9.
Correct. And you got the right number. I sure don't remember that. Yeah, we have those. I have it.
You are fine. That's so.
So, yeah. Now you plug in the V.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? I got to plug in. Yep.
It's fun. The 1, 2, 3, 4. Work button. 5.
Not good. 0.6 and 8 are like 11.
What can I do?
Yeah, that's what he got. It should be somewhere around 2,695, somewhere around there for surface area.
And I'm waiting 5. Not 5.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. You,
Keep going.
when putting in the,
I get 3. We already have 5.3. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, anything around that. I said you'll get a different if you round these. Again, I don't care where you round from me. They'll tell you on the district. Yeah, like where to round to 100 to the 10 or whatever. Normally, you don't round off during the process, though. You do whatever number you get on the calculator, you just use that and keep going if you can. For this.
Oh, yeah. But like, what would you start with? Because we didn't do third area until later. We started with that like.
Like, are you saying, would you start with volume or surface area?
Yeah, or like.
It doesn't matter. I mean. Oh, well, no, you gotta start with these, yeah. You gotta figure those out first. Now, some people are trying to put it all into one. I would not do that. So, yeah, you do exactly what we did yesterday. You write the 2 formulas with no numbers, just the formula. Then solve for B, then solve like exactly what we just did. Always, that's the process I'm giving you. Did you use the highlight that you do? Get a little higher to the highlight.
Yeah.
You got 2702 also?
for surface area?
For surface area.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2695, so, I don't think you can quite that high, where's your?
It's okay. He said anything.
You got it right, your word. if you do not write your word, you run the risk of getting a 0 on that problem when you've got a lot of the pieces correct. You have to show how you get your numbers on the quiz plan. Kids have already lost points by not doing that. All right, so the final answer again, surface area was like somewhere around 2695. Again, you could be a little bit higher or lower than that, but not a lot. Yeah, like that's probably fine. Let's see off. Again, when you round, you'll get a different. I would try not to round during the process. Like if you have a number on the calculator, if you just now hit plus or subtract or times, it will use that whole number. You don't need to round during the process normally.
Oh, okay.
You just plug in 530 for capital B and 81.7 for capital B. Same thing we did yesterday. It says.
This is there, right? Yeah, I know, I solved it like that, so I was like.
It is like that.
Well, but you had already solved it out of it.
Yeah, we already have this is the B, that's the B, and that's the P. You just are plugging those in there and there.
So I realized you have.
Find it.
Yeah, because I rounded it, up.
Oh, you got like 30 minutes.
All right, I gotta quickly show you the triangular prism. So remember, there are problems in your online book. So if you've never been to your online book, so zero noise. If you go to your online book, it says McGraw-Hill. That says McGraw-Hill. You click on that, and then you'll get a couple different icons. That's the one you click on. That's the book we use. There's a picture that looks exactly like that. Click on that. And then as soon as you go in there, it should show on your dashboard the assignment. You can get help on those problems. Like click on a little link that says get help, or whatever it says, need help, get help. If you want to do the questions, the first 7 problems ask questions about 3D shapes, like vocabulary kind of stuff. Not a bad idea to do them, but mainly for the quiz, it's all problem. There's no conceptual question, certainly no definition and stuff. You need to know how to do problems with different figures. So we've now done 2. I'm about to quickly introduce the 3rd, and then we'll try to squeeze another one in. Now, since we're not going to do an exit ticket, we can maybe do one Monday before you're doing the district assessment Monday now. We're just going to go to a lab probably and just get it done.
Wait, so take this quiz on Tuesday?
This quiz is Tuesday, correct? So really quickly, when you have a triangular, go ahead and write, actually, number 4, write that down. That's the answer to number 4. Quickly, before I get going, I got like 2 minutes. I got to introduce at least what you need to do in there. Rectangular, but it's still a prism. It does a triangular prism, rectangular, they're all prisms that you can think for them, but that's the name of it. All right, so I'm gonna just start from scratch. Look at number 9. So number 9, you got a shape like that. Says 3 and 4 like that. And then it goes up like you need to look at number 9. I'm not drawing the whole figure. Look at number 9. The 3D figure, but that is the base. I'm just kind of removing everything else so you can just focus on the base of it. So what shape is the base? Triangle, right? It's a right triangle, which is going to come into play, but it's a triangle. How do we find the perimeter of that? Add the sides, right? What's the problem? We don't have all 3 sides. That's where that right angle comes in. I'm going to kind of now take that triangle and draw it like that so it's easier to see. That is a right triangle. We can solve for the missing side. Just got to get through this one. We can solve for the missing side. That is side C if you think of the formula A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So they expect you to know how to do that. If you solve for it, so again, you plug in those numbers, square them, then add that together, 9 plus 16, 25, square root of 25 is 5. Again, you're supposed to know how to do that. Now that I know that, I can now do the perimeter. I got the capital P, but the area of a base, you have to know the formula. You wrote it earlier, I think I had you write it, and we did it the other day. 1/2 little b little h. This is where that other stuff comes in that I said. The little b and the little h are the two perpendicular sides. Those two right there. And again, it's not actually going to be always in my stuff. It will be always. I'm not going to make. There's a way that I can make you solve for the height. We're not going to get to that level of difficulty. Just for my class, for my stuff, I should say, the two sides that are perpendicular that meet in the right angle. So make this note. It's going to be on your quiz, and I'm going to make it a little easy, but you're still going to have to remember this part, and you're going to have to know that you can solve for that side. The two sides that are perpendicular are your little base. So again, don't get that confused with capital B. This is not the area of anything. It's a little b. It's the side of a triangle. That is the side of a triangle. And it's the two sides that are perpendicular. It's going to make it easy on you on my quiz. So you should have written it in the beginning. Same thing I told you to write in the beginning. Yeah. So I mean, you have that already. So if you want to write again, that's fine. But we did it when we did bell work. I made you write that with the bell work. So I would say for the area, 1/2 times 3 times 4. That's the area of that base for that figure. So now I've solved and I've given you the 5. So you can find the capital P because it's a prism, right? It's got two. You have to go through and do this. I didn't show that to you, but we did it. We've done it. We've done a squared plus b squared is c squared. If you solve, you get 16 plus 9, 3 squared plus 4 squared. That gives you 25. And then you have to know to take the square root at the end to get it. That's Pythagorean theorem. Again, that's algebra. I can't teach algebra. I don't have time. I do normally, but they're telling me I'm going too slow. So you have to practice that. There are probably problems in the book stuff where you'll have to do that. So if you don't know what you're doing, get help and they'll show you needed to do that. So you're going to have to put some time into this quiz. We won't have time Monday, even though I'm not going to introduce new stuff. We're going to be doing the district test. We probably will do a bell work problem, and that'll be all we do on this lesson. So you have to do those book problems in McGraw-Hill. You can try to do the worksheet stuff if you think you're getting it. But again, you don't get help with that unless you go to tutoring. The McGraw-Hill stuff you can get help with. You can click on a button that will show you how to work the problem out and then give you another one just like it. And I think you can do that 3 times. I tried to set it up where you can do it unlimited, but that wasn't an option. At least I couldn't figure out how to do it. So that's what you would wind up doing in order to get the capital P for that. And then the area of a base, once you have, actually, you don't even need the 5 for the area of the base. You just needed the 2 sides they gave you that were perpendicular. So that would be what, 2 times, so 6 would have been the area of the base for that. But you're going to have to put some time into that. We'll probably do that as a quick bell work on Monday. That's that kind of shape. So again, that was number 6, I think. 6. All right, so if you're doing any retakes at lunch, be at a door right after 5th period, it's your last day. Last day for this one. Oh, I'm sorry, number 9. Yeah, number 9 is that. Is that the only? Oh, number 3 is also that. Number 3 is the same thing as that too. So 3 and 9 are what I just showed you. And again, we'll do a bell work on that for you. It's gonna be tough to pick it up in 5 or 10 minutes. You may want to try it over the weekend. For the area of the base. So again, that's your capital B. Perimeter I already solved the 5, but you need to know that you have to be able to find that side. And that's how you do it. The right triangle, so you have to be very free.
little bit,
If you,
not like, but.
that's not right, that's not a pyramid. And pyramid has a pointy top. You know, gotta have a pointy top, right? Or just picking me. That's not a pyramid. No. So, pointy. You were the legs, like. This, that's a pyramid. That, there is no other base on top of this. So you choose the formula for a pyramid. Make sure you're using the right formulas for the right shapes. Phones to be up. I don't want phones out, especially not pointing. No earbuds, no phones when we're done. So Dylan, earbud out, bud. Drive me crazy is the first thing you guys have to do is jump on your phone, put your earbud in. You can last a minute or two before you get out of my. Rectangle and cone, which we haven't even done yet. So cone will actually count. We have to do cone also on Monday. Yeah, also Tuesday. Cone is just, I mean, cone is just a formula. The only thing you have to use for cone is the base of the circle. So when I find the B, I use the area of the circle formula, right? The same thing as it did. When I find the B, I use the I times diameter, or I can also use 2 by r. So we get it circumference. Same thing we kind of just did. If you're coming in at lunch, remember, be in that door right after 5th. I need to come in. I got a 0.
Okay, let me come.
Oh, wait. No, you don't. I'm sorry. That was last time. I just said nobody missed it. Nobody missed it apparently. Oh.
Here we go, here we go. The paper trail.
I keep going.
I miss.
If you miss it, you can come in anytime. You don't have to do tutoring. You miss something. So anytime. Lunch, I should say lunch anytime. I'm always here at lunch. After school, you gotta kind of ask me, can I come in tomorrow and I'll let you go. Sometimes I do have meetings.
Mr. Gill, I was gonna come in at weekend for that red test, but that girl told me it only take like 5 minutes, so I'm just coming out. The red test.
Oh, it can take more than 5, but yeah, it's short. I mean, it's 2 questions. And one of them's super easy, but the second one takes.
It was algebra.
And again, if you feel confident in your algebra, you're right, it doesn't. Algebra definitely the tougher part. Toughest approach. All right, see you. Remember, be at that door though, because you won't get in without a pass, so be there.
James.
Hold on there, let me. You may want pass. Not even a foot. Hang on to that.
Thank you.
You could actually use it another day. If they give you any I doubt they give, I've done that before, like no date and nobody's had problems.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a question? Yeah, we're using everything today. You need a book, calculator, reference sheet. You'll need the worksheet that I handed out, which some people left behind. Just to read your computer. Were you here yesterday? Okay, then you can have this one since somebody left behind. Here, right here. Because somebody left badly, feel like they needed it. Which is definitely not accurate. You need everything today, float, calculator, reference sheet, worksheet for test today, everything you got.
Okay, mine's the good.
Bye, have a good weekend. I feel like I'm missing something that you also need, but I can't think of it. So just, there's, the reference sheets are floating around, so you'll just have to look around you. Or you can get a paper copy to keep if you want. Just remember, you won't be able to use that during the quiz.
Just staring at me.
Phones up, bell ring, phones up, earbuds out, wait, please. I have one reference sheet for somebody that needs it. Actually, I have two. I have three. Everybody else that does not have a reference sheet. All right, so here, oh, actually, I don't know where your bell work is. Nope, yep. Shoot. Well, yeah, that's fine. That's your bell work. I'll get out of the way. Oh, shoot, I need to stop the recording. So do that. I'll give you a minute or two. I still haven't done attendance. Any class.